Hello, Gemini. Happy 2021. We're finally out of 2020. What a year that has been, with all the challenges and, the corona and the lockdown and the slowdown. We're going to talk about that slowdown and what that has done for you. Because some of it was the virus, but it was also the planets. Even without the virus, we would have experienced the slowdown of all the planets that went retrograde, which really makes things slow down to a halt, especially Mars, which normally takes 6 weeks to go through a sign, actually took 6 months to get through this part of your chart. Where did that really affect you the most? Well, Gemini, look up here at your 11th house. The 11th house is all about hopes and dreams and social activity, circle of friends. It's groups and organizations. You might have felt that was especially hard for you. And being a Gemini, you're a communicator, right? You're a social butterfly. You need people, Gemini. All right. And so for you, I think that must have been the hardest thing, is to feel, how do I exert my energy? If I can't bring it out on a physical level, where do I go? Well, the 11th house is ruled by Uranus and Aquarius. So, even though you have Mars there, the house itself, this area, this little slice of the pie, is Aquarian. And that is everything that is technical. It rules all the internet, right? Everything online, social media, and so forth. So I could see how you stepped it up big time here with Mars, because Mars is our drive. It is the physical energy we have. It's the determination, dedication that we have to drive towards our goals. So I can see that the majority of all of you Geminis have been online, being social there, maybe finding a lot of new friends, maybe finding a new outlet of how to use that drive when you couldn't really, go outside of your house very much, right? So many of you have built a whole new tribe as a result of it. And how can that benefit you in the long run? Well, actually, it's also the areas of hopes and dreams. Some of you here, you men, which is ruled by Mars, right, have been extra, shall I say, online. But even for the females who are watching this, you might have been attracted to men who are full of action. You might have brought up your own inner Mars and drive to take control and take direction of how you can obtain your hopes and dreams here. So many of you might have started a new business this year, and leadership is all here within the Arian energy. Mars rules Aries, so I can see how you've taken control of your own destiny, of wanting to focus this drive towards something that can grow in the aftermath of it. Normally, like I said, 6 weeks is what Mars gives us in any specific area. That's how quickly it moves. But a half a year, even though it slowed you down, and yes, it was frustrating, can't get the energy up and out, right? Look at where you are today here. Now, starting January, 27 degrees is where Mars is. So by January 7th, Mars is moving out of this area. You're done with it. And you're going to be moving into the 12th house, which is more working behind the scenes with certain things. Pay attention to your dreams. This is dream time. It is time to just kind of pick up some energy. You might have felt very tired with Mars holding you back from being social, right? And now comes the release of this energy. But don't waste it. The 12th house is our higher mind. It's our spirituality connection that we have with our higher selves. It's also a very creative space to have it. You already have Uranus there, 6 degrees. It is still retrograde. Uranus brings about change. So a lot of you have been feeling this underlying change that Uranus has been bringing. And when Mars comes in and along, it will kick into it, and you will see how it's going to pop open, shall I say, new centers in your mind. Maybe you'll start exploring more of your own spirituality. How can you grow internally, not just in the external world? Because most of you Geminis are very external. You're out and about with people and communicating and interacting. You know, change is something that you like because you love diversity. Well, for the first part there of January into February, then you will see when Mars comes into your own sign, the first house, Mars is going to be moving 8 sectors up until your relationship house there in December. So the journey of Mars will activate each and every one of these houses. You don't really have any planets there. You got a full moon here on January 28th, but you can see that all your planets are above the horizon, none under the horizon, meaning it's going to be a very extroverted life this year, but Mars itself is going to go sub. It's going to go under here. It's going to activate these houses, end up in your relationship house here in December. And so let's walk you through that, what you can expect. So when we come into February, March, here we have Mars. It's the personality, the I am consciousness. You're going to feel after this dream time in the 12th house where it was passing, you're going to come back out alive. And then you're going to shoot all this energy out into the external circumstances. You're going to be interacting. You'll be getting a lot of feedback. This is you in a nutshell, loving it. It only happens once every 2 years that Mars is in your own sign. So you're going to be very, should I say, dynamic and loving this energy. You're going to get a lot of, should I say, focus. They will see you, Gemini. You know, you're going to be like this magnet, attracting a lot of people. And if you've started an online thing while Mars was up there in your 11th house, this will be a time here for you to really see how this can explode. Then you're going to be focusing on your finances. When Mars goes through this area of your chart, 2nd house, this is all about money and income, but also money that goes out. We might attract more money here at this time, but then again also, money might go out. So you might want to be careful not to overspend or splurge too much, because that might not behoove you for the most part. Then we have, shall we say, when we get into early, shall I say, spring, summer here, 3rd house. Mars in the 3rd house is the house that you rule. Okay, so this is your area. When Mars is here, you'll see how communication will pick up and really do what it is that you're wanting it to do. Anything now with presentations, communications, negotiations, and so forth, you are on top of it. All the action is here. The 3rd house likes also to be in motion, to move, short trips and so forth. You will feel like you're really wanting to get out of the house and go explore. It also rules neighborhoods, you know, and siblings, your community in that sense. So you're going to be donating a lot of your time here to catch up in this area before it's going to go into your 4th house. The 4th house is the home and family. This will be the time where you're going to really clean out the basements, the garage, the lofts and so forth. Any projects at home that you have been delaying or putting aside, which we often do, you're going to feel like, ooh, I got to do it now. You'll have the energy to do it because that's where Mars is wanting to clean up. The 4th house is who we are on the inside, right? The security, the foundation of our life. So we're cleaning up this, organizing it, and catching up with family and family members of all that is going to be super, super important. Loving to see, actually, the 5th house, when we come to the autumn part of the year, this is the best time that you can have a vacation rather than earlier in the summer. In the autumn, Mars is in the 5th house for leisure and joy, doing the things that you love to do, that you're passionate about, to have fun. It's also a very romantic area of your chart. So those of you who are in a relationship, you're going to fire that up with all that dynamic energy. And if you're single, well, I don't think you will be, because here you're going to be like this magnet. You will be attracting the partners into your life that you so desire. And children too. Children comes in under the 5th house. So it's kind of time to kind of support them, spend more time with them, be focused on any new beginnings. Mars loves to start new things, right? So you could actually, be very supportive of their growth and so forth. And if you have your own business, hey, be creative. This is the time to kind of reinvent yourself and put things in there that you would love to see that can affect your growth and expansion for the next 2 years, right? So yes, we need creativity in order to kind of visualize and see where we're heading, and you will do that. So later into the autumn, here we go, Mars in the 6th house, which is all about health and how we're eating. Are we doing good? Do we need to adjust our diets? Are we working out enough? But it's also about your day-to-day routines. This is going to help you at this point in time to help you work more efficiently. Do you need to redo your office? Is it too cluttered? Get it out of there. Is your schedule always too cluttered? When we have a 2-year cycle with Mars, we're back to reset. Because throughout the 2-year span between now and then, you're going to start adding more and more into your routine, wasting time, flipping through whatever it is with your social media and so forth, right? Is it taking too much time away from your goals? Cut back. You'll see how your attention is going to work very, very strongly here in this area. So once you do that, you're going to feel like you have more time, and time is a commodity. That's the full, should I say, treasure. We only have 24/7, and for some of us, time just goes too quick, way too quick, right? We want to fill it with something of value. So yes, that is where it is. And then throughout December, Mars is going to be moving into your relationship house as of marriage. Not just a romantic, like the 5th house. 5th house is all about that joy and interacting with the romantic energy. 7th house is more your significant other. Now, if you're single, you might attract somebody who could become a long-term partner. You're going to feel that deeper need to connect deeper with your partner. If you are already married and you're in a relationship, this is the time to really blow all that fiery energy that Mars has to rejuvenate this area of your life, to keep it healthy and happy and bouncy. You might have been too busy earlier in the year to really focus on what your partner needs. And when you focus on him or her in this specific way, do know it's going to come right back at you. And if you want the next 2 years to really be fiery and intimate and loving, do this now at this time, right? Because it's not just these weeks Mars is here. Remember, you're programming what you want to receive over the next 2 years until Mars is back. So if you do a good job now, you're ensuring, having an insurance policy, should I say, that you're going to have a very happy and spontaneous love for the next 2 years. I say spontaneous. Why? Because you do have Sagittarius in the 7th house. And so it's important that you have laughter and communication, and that you can explore with your partner. That's what Sag likes, right? So this is a great area for you. But let's talk about Jupiter and Saturn. Why? Well, last year in 2020, they were all stuck there in your 8th house together with Pluto there. And that really shut you down financially. Looking at your savings, many of you might have had to cash out some of your 401k and so forth, or other investments. So it was tricky. It was really hard because all of those planets work together, and it was difficult. It was complicated, right? Well, you're out of that now. Jupiter is now opening up a whole new scenario for you. The 9th house has to do with higher education. Some of you might want to start, a new course or go back to school. But the 9th house is also long distance travel, foreign cultures and people and places and languages and so forth. And being a Gemini, we know you have a good language ear. So some of you might just feel it's time to pick up languages, right? but it's also the area of teaching. So I wouldn't be surprised that quite a few of you Geminis might start thinking that you want to start teaching. Not necessarily as a career, your day job kind of thing. Some of you might think, hey, I have this skill, I have this knowledge, and maybe it's time to go out and teach. Why you spend so much time online developing a tribe out there, right, on social media. So some of you have built up really a crowd. Think about what talents and skills that you personally have that you might now go out and start teaching. And for that, not only will Jupiter, who is the teacher in many ways, right, but you got Saturn there that keeps it solid and grounded, so you're expanding, but also with wisdom and knowledge. Saturn is what we master. For the next 2.5 years, you're going to have this opportunity to go out and show the world and teach, if you so choose, right? If you use it right, especially now that you have Jupiter here for 1 year, it's only 1 year, you won't have this opportunity again for another 12 years. So I would say, go for it if you've had those thoughts. Why wait? You can start this pretty much very early now in 2020. But like I said, with Saturn's what we master, right? Saturn's also very karmic. And it's wisdom. And it's serious. This is you now starting to take yourself and your knowledge base seriously, right? So it's really coming into your own, taking on that, driving that steering wheel, and say, what can I do with this? It's higher knowledge, right? You might even want to start studying more science. Saturn is very scientific, and so is Aquarius, the sign that it's in, right? So scientific areas, metaphysical areas, by all means, with Jupiter there as well. It's about thinking about the future. I can see how a lot of you might want to think, how can we become a part to look at sustainable energy, for example? Those of you who have had those thoughts and ideas, it's time to go out, not just to preach it, but implement it, bring it out, bring that knowledge, free energy out to the world, right? You'll be surprised what you can actually do with this, but don't sit and hold all that knowledge internally. Bring it out. Look at that. You've had that Mars in your 11th house to grow your network space. So you have people that can actually become followers to listen to how we can use sustainable energy as one of the things. There could be other things coming in. But Uranus, which rules this area of Aquarius, is all about the future. So I'm thinking it's something. It's something futuristic orientated. Or helping people to open up, especially the younger crowds, right? To open up, to be more responsible, Saturn, right? And expand what is at hand. So that is super exciting for you. You still have Pluto in your 8th house for money. You're still transforming there. You've had that for several years. You still have some time left, 6 more degrees to go before it's out of here. But anything you're laying as foundation here, Pluto's going to come in behind it. It's not happening anytime quite yet soon, so we're not going to talk about that quite yet. But then you can see there we have it. Gemini, are you excited at all? Even in spite, COVID might still be there. You know how to do the dance, right, with social distancing and so forth. It's not as scary as it was when it first started. We've learned how to take precautions, so that is good. I wish you the very, very best for 2021. I'd love to hear from you throughout the year, how you're doing. So listen, go listen to your moon and rising sign as well, if you know it. Why? Because these two beauties, which is the greatest thing in your horoscope right now, they will show up in different areas of your chart when you listen to your moon sign forecast, right? Where are they showing up? And in your rising sign, same thing. It will show up in a different part of your chart. All 3 of these readings are essential to you and what you can come to experience now this year. So go make it great, and I will see you again next month. Bye now.